Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Art of Human podcast. This is your host, Christian Rodriguez. I believe this is going to be episode 88, I believe. Today is a special day, a special podcast, like every single podcast. And in particular, it's very special when I get the honor of speaking to another fellow human being. Today, we have Luis Mireles. Did I butcher it? Sorry.
No, that's
Mireles?
pretty good.
Luis
Yeah, there you go.
Mireles. All right, Luis Mireles. And his musician name, because he is a musician, is Lee Wires. Lee space Wires. Right? Or am I wrong?
Yes,
Okay. You could look up Lee Wires on Spotify. Can you look him up on Apple Music?
I believe so.
You
Yes, I
believe
don't
so?
personally use Apple Music, but yes.
Okay. And on YouTube, right?
Yes, definitely on YouTube.
And on YouTube under Lee Wires, Leewires. And we're gonna put the links to his newest song. Um shit, now I'm blanking. Wait for You. That's on Spotify. We're gonna put the link in the description. The Spotify link we'll put if it's on Apple Music, we're gonna put the link for that. If it I know it's on YouTube, we're gonna put it on that. And for people who don't know, I'm hyping up this guy right now. He has an amazing YouTube video for the latest song, Wait for You. It's really, really awesome. It was made by one of our mutual friends, Edgar. And Edgar actually filmed it, directed it, and he edited it,
Yes, he's a
right?
man of many talents.
Right?
Yes.
Amazing. And for everybody listening, Edgar is actually he was on this podcast. He was on this podcast. And he actually is pretty much the reason why we're here, why me and Luis are here, because Edgar, and I don't know if you know it's Luis, but Edgar texted me and he was like, yo, you should do a podcast with my friend. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And then that's how this whole thing has come to fruition because of Edgar, right?
hmm
Um, Luis, welcome to the podcast. I've had the pleasure of talking to you for a little while now in preparation for this podcast. Welcome to the Art of Human podcast. Um,
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
no, the pleasure is mine. Seriously,
Uh,
the pleasure is mine. Luis, so let's build some context for the audience. I know when I usually ask people like, "Who are you?" Tell the audience who you are. Like that's such a broad question, so I'm gonna try to make it a little bit more specific to make it like be a little bit more specific with the question to make it more easy for you.
hmm
Let me ask some questions that maybe just builds context. Luis, where did you grow up?
I grew up in San Diego, specifically Chula Vista area.
Chula
Um,
Vista?
yeah, so I was actually born here, but actually at the time, for the first 3 years of my life, I was actually living in TJ.
Oh
Um,
shit, no
so actually,
way.
yeah, so actually, first language was actually Spanish. But then after I turned 3, we moved to East Lake. It's it was still kind of brand new at the time, or still being developed. But that was such like I don't know, I had to assimilate to basically the culture, and I basically had to learn a new language. I had to learn English,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and so I grew up not kind of. Actually, I had a speech impediment growing up, and I had to take classes in order to not confuse my Spanish with my English. But in the end, I ended up kind of having to forget my Spanish in order to learn English.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
So that was when you were 3 that you came to live in San Diego?
Yes, correct.
And then
Yes.
you've been living in Chula Vista the whole time?
Up until 2 years ago when I moved here to Normal Heights in San Diego.
Normal Heights, that's what it's called?
Normal Heights, yep. That's the neighborhood city
Why is it
area.
called that? Like, is it what's normal about it? Or what is that about?
I don't know. Honestly, there's nothing really normal about Normal Heights. I mean, there's always something happening like around the block or I mean, there's a lot of, restaurants, there's a lot of bars, places where you can just have a good time, kick it. You can walk to North Park, you can walk to Kensington. It's a pretty cool area.
Particularly what part of San Diego? Because I think Chula Vista is right by the border, right?
Right,
By
yeah,
San
down south.
Isidro.
Yeah, like yeah, pretty close there. I would say Normal Heights is very central. It's like central San Diego.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. So how old are you? I
Uh,
don't know if that's an important, relevant question, but for me, I know that's maybe like a question that people shy away from because some people are like,
uh-huh.
I don't know. We all, I guess, in society, there's like this thing about age and, oh, do I look my age? Do I look older? Do I look younger? And then
Hmm.
everybody gets all weird about it. But it's just like, I don't know. The reason I like the age is just because, like, how long have you been on Earth? You know, like
Right,
literally,
right.
how much time have you had to be the person that you are right here in front of me? That's why I like to ask.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
how old
so
are you?
I am 26.
26. Dude, I'm
Yes.
25. I'm turning 26 in August, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Did you turn
Congrats.
26 this year or last year?
Last year, so I'm gonna be 27 this year.
Okay, right on. So we're pretty much almost the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It actually is just curious. Is Edgar how old is he? Is
Um,
he the same year as you, like at high school and all that? Or like or I don't even
he's
know how
young.
you get
He's younger than me.
okay,
Man,
okay.
he's either 24 or 25. I'm sorry, Edgar.
You're like, I'm not really sure, bro. Wait, real quick,
I feel
go
what you
ahead.
were saying earlier, how well, we're like basically the same age group.
Uh-huh.
I feel like we are the same age because
Yeah.
we're hanging out with each other all the time. So it's kind of goes over my head like, man, I forget like you're. It doesn't. I forget that he's younger than me, and then I never really like
Yeah, because you guys are just
put into my
vibing, like, and
head.
you guys are
Yeah,
similar enough
exactly.
age to where it's not even like, yeah. I and for the audience, again, Edgar is the guy who helped direct one of Lee Wire's music, and for the audience, the main priority here is just to have fun during this podcast. And I'm interested for whatever reason. I'm like, how long have you and Edgar known each other? I'm just interested.
Yeah, we know each other since I believe like towards the end of 2015. I want to say 2015 is when we got to know each
How'd you
other.
guys meet? How'd you guys meet?
We actually met playing music. Um, so at the time, um, my band was looking for a drummer, um, and coincidentally, we found Edgar who lived nearby. Like,
Hmm.
perfect. Let's try him out, and then from that it was history.
And what
And
was the name of the band?
fake tides.
Fake Tides?
Yes.
Again, in that group, what was your position in the group?
I sang and played guitar.
Okay. See, I think this is dope, like what we're doing right now. Even like talking about Edgar and stuff, because you guys, Edgar asked me if I could send him the video. So that means this is gonna go on your guys' like YouTube channel, which is
Hmm.
freaking awesome. I'm actually happy that's gonna happen. Um, okay, so you used to be on Fake Tides, you were a singer, and then what was the other one you said? Sorry.
Guitarist.
Guitarist. So tell us now, because we are gonna be talking about this music that you're gonna be releasing. First one that is already out. I'm just reminding the audience, since we are gonna be talking about this new music, uh, and the newest song that is already available. I'm just reminding the listeners. Wait for You, Lee Wires, Lee space Wires. You can look it up right now. Literally, if you don't want to, if you want
Hmm.
to pause this video and look it up right now, Lee Wires on Spotify. Since
Yeah.
we are going to be talking about you as a musician, I want to get to know that part of you. Like how did music become a part of your life? That's my question.
Um, so actually, it came out of the blue. Really, I never intended to be a musician. Really, just one day. This must have been the summer before I started high school. Actually, so I was really close with a cousin at the time, and he was actually going to college for music, and just he would hang out a lot with me during the summer break, and he would just one day he just sat down with me like I'm gonna teach you how to play guitar. And I'm like, okay, I'm down. Like, let's see where this goes.
Mm-hmm.
And
And you said this was
you
high
know,
school,
yeah, this was before, like right before
right before you started high
I
school?
was about to start high school. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
started started kind of getting familiar with the guitar and the instrument, and yeah, like little by little, just he was showing me things, and from there, yeah, and then the following year, I think I took a beginner guitar course in high school, and so
Like
I was
it
doing
was
that.
actually a class like available at the high school.
Yeah, yeah, it was a beginner guitar class. That actually helped a lot too. Like I already had um footsteps into the playing the guitar and stuff, so I was a little ahead of my peers, but I had the advantage of someone who was going to college for it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and yeah, it just sort of happened, and yeah, and like all throughout high school, I was trying to form a band. Never got anywhere really except playing like school assemblies and some events that were called luau's. I think that's what they're
Oh,
called.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, just like school events. Never got anywhere until during college when I had met Edgar and
No
our other
way.
buddy at the time, Sal. Yep.
Dude, that's so epic. So, okay, let me get this straight. And also, maybe just to make it clear for the audience,
Hmm.
and mostly for me, because I like to just double check that I'm actually hearing shit. Because I'm practicing my listening, bro. I'm serious. I'm trying to get better, but I'm like, I
It,
sometimes like my brain just stops, right?
no, I,
I'm
I
trying, I'm,
totally get it.
I'm
I
trying my
totally get
best.
it.
So, okay. So, right before high school, so I'm guessing like the summer from middle school to high school, your cousin is like, yo, like, do you want to learn how to play the guitar with me? Or it was a
Uh,
guitar, right?
it,
Guitar?
yeah, guitar. It was guitar. Yeah, it just sort of happened. Um, Honestly, at the time, I was kind of unsure if I wanted to, but I was like, you know what? It's summer break. Might as well like let's pick up something new.
And
Um,
why do you
so
think that your cousin like told you in particular? Like, did he see like talent from you, like from some prior thing, or
well, I don't know. We were just really close, and I think because he was very into well, he still is. He's still into music, but because of that time, since he was in school, like learning, like I think he just wanted to share this valuable knowledge with me, and anytime he talked, because I really admire him, I really do, and so I can hear him talk about anything. So he was talking about music with me. I listen, and I get to know about his world, and all the music that he was listening to, I was listening to. Like he was basically the brother I never had.
ah?
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, you know what, like yeah, like I'm gonna I'll play guitar for you because like it seems like that's what he wanted like to have that connection with me musically too. Like he didn't want to do it alone is what I got from it. And so
Wow.
I was on board with it.
So that means your cousin plays a vital role in all this coming to fruition. You being a part of these bands, you
Yes.
going to school for it, and then even up until this point, like this EP coming out and all that.
Yes, actually, but I never went to school for per se. It's just that class in high school that
Oh, but you
that
said
I
you
took.
did go to college though, right?
Yes, but for a completely different major that I don't even use.
Wait, did you end up graduating?
Yeah, I have a bachelor in marketing.
And you never use it?
Nope.
Dude, okay. So you don't use it for maybe like to make money, but I'm saying like in terms of the knowledge that you actually got, do you ever see
Yeah.
yourself applying it in your life?
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely applied it a lot when I was running like the social media accounts for my previous bands.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it didn't go to waste, and but yeah, that
You're
that's
technically
that's
you're
a different
technically
story.
you're technically just not like showing the paper like, yo, I got my bachelor's, could I get a job? That's basically what you're saying, right? Like you're not
Yeah,
using the paper,
exactly.
but you're still using all the knowledge that you got from the whole experience.
Definitely. Yeah, yeah. Um,
I got you. I don't know why the audio was a little weird, but the reason I got excited about that, not to take us too far off topic, but it's because like I got my degree in nutrition, and I used it like for one job, but the job didn't even really require it. And then now I'm just kind of like I'm using all the knowledge that I learned from school, or at least the stuff
mhm.
that I remember, but I'm not actually technically like using it per se, like the way you're saying.
Right.
But anyways, without getting too far off topic, okay, so you started your music career because one of your cousins right before high school was like, yo, you want to learn, and then this guy's like a motivational person for you, and then you end up starting to learn. You end up trying to start some bands in high school,
Hmm.
and then but it wasn't until 2015 when you met Edgar. Or no, you joined the other band before you met Edgar, right?
This the same band. So actually, I met Sal first. He was the bassist in the band. Um, so I met him first, and then a we had a drummer before Edgar, but then it didn't work out. So that's when we were like, let's give Edgar a shot, and then yeah, and then from there it was the three of us.
So wait,
From then on,
what year was it when you were part of that band that that Edgar eventually ended up coming to? What year was
I
when you started that band?
oh man, it was either the end of 2014, uh, or the beginning of 2015. It was around that time. Around that time,
And what was the name of that band again?
Fake Tides.
Fake Tides. Okay, and then were you the one that actually created the band?
It was Sal, that created band.
Oh, and then Sal's your cousin.
Sal's my buddy.
Oh, okay. We haven't really brought up Sal, right?
No. Well, you also may know him from a band called The Sacred Souls.
Huh. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I'm not too familiar though. The Sacred Souls. Okay. So, what? I mean, you already brought up Sal. What is Sal? What kind of role does he play in your career so far? I mean, he
Oh,
was
he's
obviously a part of that group that you're talking about. But can you tell
yes,
us a little bit more about him just to paint a clearer picture?
yes. Oh man, Sal, he's one of my close friends. I look up to him. Like he's inspiring himself. He's out there right now, living the dream, man. He's touring with his band right now. I believe he's playing the Beacon Theater tonight. Like he's
Shit.
playing, yeah, he's playing like you know these historic venues with legendary artists being involved with you know like big names like Gabe Roth, who or he's known for having produced some Amy Winehouse,
Okay.
like stuff like that. Like he's living the dream. And it's so cool to like see him like from the from humble beginnings to now. Like I saw that happen, and it just I'm just glad that like one of like a, a friend of mine, someone I can call like a very close friend, is now doing that.
So
And
like what's the level of publicity that he has and with whatever groups that he's performing with? If that makes any sense. Like in terms of like following, like how big are they? Like you're saying they're
oh
pretty big, yeah.
oh yeah, they're really big. I mean they started not too long ago. They formed. I believe they developed more during the over the pandemic.
Uh
Um, but since now all the all the those bans are being lifted from venues and stuff. Now they're like just you know running all those shows. They're touring. They're playing all these shows now, and making a name for themselves. Like they're already pretty popular, but now they're just like growing even more. But they're the new up and coming soul band. I would
Soul?
say they're soul like I would say like soul revival. Um, yeah, it's great stuff. You gotta check it out.
All right, so we talked
Yes.
about Sal. Um, and then in 2015 you met Edgar, you guys were part of this group. And then tell us more about how we come more to present day. Now it's 2022 and you're getting ready to drop sometime soon this EP on Egg Records, which is a record label made by Edgar. Am I correct?
Yes.
So how did this come to fruition? Like this EP, when did you start the process? What's been going on?
With the EP, honestly, most of the songs, like besides "Wait for You," because we recorded it for the EP. The other three songs, they were actually written or they were finally finished not too long ago. So
Uh,
I have wires, I have all these ideas, um, but they just weren't something was missing for all the songs that they weren't clicking, and then like out of the blue one day, like uh they all just came to me, and I was like, oh, like now I got the material I need for this EP, and I feel like all these songs are sort of connected in a way because they have a certain theme to them, and I felt like it was really like meant to be. Like this EP just kind of developed on its own in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
All right, so my question, now that we've built a little bit of context regarding the EP and things like that, we are going to play the audience your first single, the one called Wait For You, that's already available on YouTube and it's on Spotify. We're going to play it for your audience right now. So everybody who's tuning in, go ahead and listen to a little bit of Wait For You.
I don't wanna be a burden. Can I call you up? Always busy working. The story of us. I don't wanna be a bother. You say you miss me too. Can't help but wonder why I feel like I'm losing you.
All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that first song by Lee Wires, Wait For You. I think it's a really wonderful song. For me, Lee Wires, Luis, if you're not aware, but I have listened to like indie music in my day, including some of the people I don't know the names for sure, but like for instance, Still Woozy. I don't know if you're familiar with them. Are you familiar with them? Still Woozy?
I feel like I've heard the name. Yes.
No Vacation. Have you heard of No Vacation?
Yes, I have. I've heard of it.
Okay. Yeah, there's certain artists like that. Not Mac DeMarco.
Okay.
Mac DeMarco.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Well, yeah, I feel like, and don't get me wrong, when you guys hear this, like I'm not a freaking music head. Like I'm not a dude who like knows all the details about music. But your music kind of has like an indie vibe to me. Is that right?
I would say so. Yeah.
And what would you actually like? What would you, if you had to say the genre to your music? What would it be?
I guess in a more general sense, yeah, indie.
Indie?
Yeah, I don't know. I try not to think about it too much. I kind of want almost like the listener to decide, especially with this. Yeah. Since like I got compilation of songs, like okay, like now I can give people like okay, they can listen to it, and because I feel like there's not really a wrong answer because there's a lot of undertones too in the EP. Like you could say it's inspired by like library music, some world music, specifically like Ethiopian, like basically I don't know, like but it like small subtle like things, like so like little dips here and there on the EP. I feel like maybe there's so many subgenres, you can classify it as anything really.
Okay. No, that's so true because like I don't make music, but like what you just said about right now, like just kind of let the listener decide like what it is, and I think that's so true because it's like at the end of the day, like you can call it whatever, but if the audience thinks it sounds like this, like well, that I guess that's what I'm saying. Like if literally like you can say this is the genre of my music, but if everybody perceives it as something else, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that just it's nice to hear what people have to say, or like, oh, like I think it sounds like this, and then you can be like, oh, I never thought of it like that, or I just I love hearing a
just like what people
criticism
feel.
Or yeah, what people feel or what they think, like I'm open to how they feel about it.
What I felt was like, because I seen the music video too. Let's see. The music video starts out, you're in your bed. I don't know. I think that's your bed. I don't know whose bed that is, but
it's mine.
You're laying in this bed, and then you got a dog right by your knees, kind of thing, between your legs. And then I love it because you can hear like the birds chirping, and I feel like it really like people can relate to that. you know, the way it starts, like just in bed, like you can hear the birds chirping, like the lights coming through the windows, like you're just waking up. And then, yeah, like you just get up and like you take this dog like between your legs and you put him down. And so I definitely really liked the way it started off because it gave this like relatable feeling. And I don't know, like I honestly, I was like so intrigued by like the bird noises, like, cause I just
Uh-huh.
love that kind of stuff. And then it goes to like you in this like open greenish field, right? It's like a greenish field. And then you
Hmm.
sit on this chair, and then the bird sounds kind of continue onto that frame, and it's just like boom, and then the song starts. And I like I told you over the text, like I like the scenery. So I mean, I like the videography about it, and the sound. Again, I don't have like great vocabulary to describe music, I feel like, but um I don't know. It's just a good vibe song, honestly. It's a good vibe song. Um,
Hmm.
and but there's also the sentiment of it, you know, because you are talking about this person, right? And let me read the first like little bit of lyrics. I
Hmm.
don't want to be a burden. Should I call you up? Always busy working. The story of us. I don't want to be a bother. You say you miss me too. Can't help but wonder why I feel like I'm losing you. So it's like there's like it's almost like a sad thing going on.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It's sad, it's sad, but then it's almost as if in the song you're like embracing this sadness and you're kind of transforming that energy to something to like get you past it almost. Is that kind of what it is? That kind of something to do with it?
Definitely, definitely. That's basically it. It's just overcoming that those hurdles, those times where you're just kind of feeling down for whatever reason, and part of that maybe could be attributed to not having the person that you spend most of your time with. You know,
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, and I feel
Where
like,
did I know you
huh?
have I know you told me, and I don't know how comfortable you are about talking about, but I think you told me that you have a girlfriend. So is this like
Yes,
regarding like this relationship with the girlfriend that you have right now?
yes,
Okay, okay.
definitely.
So let me see. There's another part of the lyrics that I want to get into just to like kind of get more context on it. Let's see. This is the chorus part. Let me see. I like wrote it down and now I'm just looking at it through the phone. You're like listen, you're like hearing the music in your head,
Yeah, yeah.
huh?
I hear the chorus.
Yeah. Uh maybe all I need is a little bit of you. Sorry, I'm not trying to I know it doesn't sound the way you're saying it, but
No, it's cool.
because I love like the rhythm because there's like a certain like consistent rhythm to it, you know? Have I forgotten how to have fun? Like, is that, you know, to make this like relatable to everybody, like how have I forgotten to have fun? Like, is that almost like you're thinking so much about a situation? Like obviously in this case it's about like this girl, I think. Is it it's a girl, right? Or
Yeah,
is it just more
yeah.
like generalized, just like a relation, like
It
a, someone that you miss, I guess, right?
right. Yeah, to me personally, it's about the person I love, and but if it's someone else, it could
For the
be
listener.
about their yeah, it could be about their loved one too. It doesn't have to be necessarily
A
their
girl or
partner.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay,
yeah,
okay. It could
um,
be like anybody that you're kind of like that you're missing, or you're kind of like maybe you got like infatuated over. Would that be it? Kind of.
yeah, yeah, definitely like up to the listener. Like I try to when I write these songs, it kind of they're personal to me, but I feel like if someone were to listen to it, it could also be uh about them too, in a
Ah,
broad sense.
okay.
Yeah, or I hope they find it relatable as well, like how I'm feeling.
Yeah,
They,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah. So this part is the part that I want to hear a little bit more context for you. You said maybe all I need is a little bit of you. I'll wait for you. What do you mean by I need a little bit of you? Like, yeah, what do you mean by that? Like, how can you have a little bit? If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Is it like,
yeah. So I'm not like the clingiest person, but I don't need that person to like, oh, you gotta be with me like 24/7. No, like, maybe just like just take a little bit of time out of your day, just like let's talk or let's hang out, like I just want or just to be there in your life, like or in this case in my life, just um even if it's just like a small interaction, like I think that's enough just to get over those hurdles, you know.
okay, okay. Damn, I feel like the lyrics, let me see. Is it, okay, hold up. Let's see. Feeling like I'm dying, but I know it's just the drugs that's got me overthinking. Have I forgotten how to have fun? So I'm feeling like I'm dying, but I know it's just the drugs that's got me overthinking. Is that something that you've experienced, like that you've
Oh
experienced
yeah.
personally?
Yes, definitely,
Okay.
definitely, yes.
So
Um,
you felt
but
like
but to
you felt like you were dying, but you felt like it was literally because of the drugs that you were taking?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or
Okay.
just, I mean, even too, like, again, with the whole like being broad or being relatable to everyone else. I mean, like, just those vaccines we're taking, man. Like,
Ah,
that got you feeling like a little crazy. I don't know. It got me feeling a little
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, no, that's dude, it's because like I'm all reading like, but I know it's just the drugs. I'm all thinking, like hard drugs and shit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like you're just
It
saying,
could be that too. It could be that too.
dude, that's the crazy part,
Uh,
dude. Because like
uh,
you wrote it, but like every single person will interpret it a little bit different.
yeah, and that's definitely, I want people to interpret it like their own way, and it's all about the listening experience. I feel like you listen to this EP, you want to, listen to the lyrics. Okay, like, what's this guy talking about? And
Yeah.
I hope maybe while they're deciphering the lyrics, it can relate to them too.
Nah, for sure, man. Like, and like just the vibe itself, like I feel like I could relate to that vibe. It's like yeah, again, it's just like almost like it's like a sad, like I'm processing these things that I've been feeling. Like I feel like there's a part of me that's kind of empty. I'm like missing this person, but I'm gonna get through it. I feel like that's
Hmm.
kind of part of it. Like I'm gonna get over the hill by like just almost like chant, obviously you're making music through it, but it's almost like I'm gonna chant myself kind of through it, if that makes any sense. That's
Yeah.
kind of like what I feel. And then plus like, part of the video, you're literally like in nature, which
Hmm.
is like a therapeutic thing. Like the birds chirping at the start of the video. Then you're like,
Hmm.
in this open field. Then you got the beautiful, I think it was a sunset behind you, the
Hmm.
blue skies. And then at the very end, you just slowly walk out of the camera. You slowly walk out of the frame, whatever you call it.
Yes.
So it kind of like finishes in a way where it makes you feel like, I don't know, like it's almost like he just walked away. Like it's like he's still like kind of sad about the whole thing, maybe like I don't
Yeah.
know, like it's like I don't know, like you walk away like, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was dope. Like it starts off like the song's not playing and then it ends off like you walking away.
Hmm.
It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. Sorry, man. I'm just again. I'm just trying. I'm just getting
No,
myself back into this. So if I haven't been, I know I don't gotta
no,
feel bad about my performance, but
it's hard. Like especially during this pandemic, I feel like, I mean, me personally, like, my social, like talking to people is like feels so much different than it was back then. You know,
how has the pandemic affect? Like, what do you mean by that? Like, elaborate a little bit more. Like, is it because of the
like,
social distancing? Like, you just
yeah,
naturally spend a little bit more time on your own.
that I with the whole pandemic, social distancing at the beginning, like, and then I feel like because of this pandemic, like I feel like I haven't seen people that I would see before, like especially like going to shows and stuff. And now it's like, you know, I don't see those people often now, and it's like, man, and then you know, or two, like just not talking to as many people as you did before, and I'm like, man, like I forgot how to interact with humans
Right?
in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like and it's definitely
Okay. Yeah,
pandemic.
dude,
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to hear. Like, not that I mean, but it's good to hear in the sense that I'm not like the only one that kind of feels like this. You
Oh yeah,
know,
yeah,
where like
yeah.
I
I
kind
feel
of
like a
feel
lot of us.
like like yeah, like I yeah, because and this is interesting because like by talking about this, I'm like, oh shit, like that kind of explains part. Because you know, like in 2020, there's like 8 months where I didn't work, and I was like, I spent like a ridiculous amount of time by myself. But then like now that I'm thinking about it, like shit, like it has been the pandemic. So I kind of like didn't involve myself with too many people because of the pandemic, you know, for safety reasons and stuff. I almost forgot about that. But yeah,
Mm,
it's almost like this pandemic has been like a humbling process in the sense that, you know, everyone's been affected in one way or another. In the sense of like externally, right? Like our jobs, our ability to maybe hang out with certain people, our ability to maybe do certain things that we used to do, but then we couldn't.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, I guess I'm not alone. We're not alone in this. I think, like you said, a lot of
No.
us have gone through a challenging time, but I think it's also possibly, at least for me, it's been definitely a great time for introspection and things like that.
Mhm.
So, you know, you just said that it's been challenge. It was, you know, it's challenging to because of pandemic and stuff. And I know we're kind of going off tangent from your like music, but I guess you know the podcast is about just generally talking about life and stuff. So maybe
Right.
we'll kind of merge into more of that for everybody listening.
Okay.
We'll just kind of get more into the kind of more casual conversation. Um, so we're talking about yeah, so you were saying that the pandemic's been challenging. You know, I think it's been challenging for every one of us not being able to spend as much time. And you said like it's been a bit challenging, like not talking to many people. And then now we're kind of getting back to like being able to hang out with people without pretty much almost any limitations, I feel like right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
do you feel like for you personally, was there any benefit from like the pandemic, if that makes any sense? Do you feel like you came out stronger in any sort of way?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, I moved to the apartment I'm living in now, during the beginning of the pandemic. And so it was like a perfect time to like, especially in the beginning, to take that time to learn more about myself, uh, learn more about the dynamics I have with my partner, and building our little home here in Normal Heights.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's definitely been a time of self reflection, and um, just wrapping my head around this new atmosphere I've been surrounded with, and it's definitely been for the better. It's done wonders to my mental health.
Mm.
Um, and two, it's yeah, it's good. Although it did suck in the beginning with not being able to go out. Like before I was always going out and like having to stay in. That kind of sucked. But at least I had my new place. So I was like, it wasn't too bad. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I was one of the lucky ones. Um, Especially still being able to work, at least with my line of work, like you have to work no matter what,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
even through a pandemic. Um, so yeah, it's been a blessing. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just grateful. Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
So would you say that because you said that you feel like your mental health, you know, was able to improve, like what exactly in particular do you feel like helped your mental health improve? Is it just like not like just spending having more time to spend on your own, or like what exactly was it that you think?
Yes, definitely that. I have my own space now. Because before I was living with my parents, and I've been wanting to move out for a while now, and I grew up with they're very traditional. They're very traditional Mexicans. So they want me to stay with them until I get married, but I don't. That's not me. I don't want to stay for that long. I need my
Mm-hmm.
own space. I need my time for myself, um and so I decided to move out, and here
So
I
was
am.
it
And
before?
almost,
Oh, so you actually moved from your parents' house to this new place?
yeah,
Oh, okay. And so was it like what was like the final, what was like the, like you finally decided to like move out on your own? What was like, was there like what was the motivation to finally make it happen, if that makes any sense?
It was with my partner, with Iris. She wanted to move out as well, so like let's do it. Like I've been
Uh,
wanting to move out. You've been wanting to move out. Let's go, you and me. And
and then you feel like the
so,
pandemic kind of made it a little easier in a way to move out, or to make it harder?
actually, definitely, because I, it was just great timing with everything because uh, I feel like um, with well, pandemic just started, and people were losing their jobs, and so I'm sure all the property management people were like trying to sell their spaces. So we
Uh-huh.
actually, yeah, and so we kind of came in at the right time, but we were referred, and we actually got a kind of a deal too. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, man, I'm just grateful for everything. Like, it just kind of all like worked out.
And this is
Um,
an apartment or a home?
it's an apartment. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Dude, that's so sick, man. Like to actually have your own place and to be with your partner, like, damn, bro, that's sick. I've lived I grew up in my parents' home. My parents got divorced, so I'd be bouncing back and forth with my dad's house, mom's house, and then
Hmm.
left to college. Before I got to university, lived with my brother and some roommates, because I had cross country training. I did cross country in college. And then I lived on campus for about a quarter, a couple months, and then I moved out to an apartment. Lived in that apartment for about 4 years with teammates and stuff, and then came to this house. But yeah, I never had like my own place. Like you and your partner have
Hmm.
your own place, and I could imagine that being dope. Like
Oh, definitely,
you
it's
guys got
awesome.
your own personal space. You guys, I'm sure you
Yeah.
guys probably do whatever you want with the space. You decorate it, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes.
was just having a
Yes.
conversation with, I know it's, dude, I'm just getting comfortable, like really, really, really just being myself, like on this podcast.
Uh,
Like, no joke, dude. Like before, I feel like I would be trying to make the podcast like a good podcast. Like,
hmm.
if that makes any sense, let me ask all the questions that's gonna be good. But right now, I'm just like, I gotta just marinate in it, if that makes any sense. Like, I just gotta
Hmm.
soak myself in the podcast versus just trying to be the best host, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you gotta go with the vibe, the atmosphere. No, definitely. Even when I record, there's got to be a certain vibe. It's got to be good. Like, obviously, if I'm in a bad mood, I'm not gonna track as well. You know. So it's all about that atmosphere and that energy. It's got to be positive.
Okay, this could
Uh,
be a good question to ask you because I mean, I don't think you don't do a podcast, do you?
no, I don't
Okay,
usually know.
okay, but you are a creator, right? Like we're both. I'm creating this podcast, and you're creating your music. How do you like? And this could be good for me, and hopefully somebody that's listening. How do you keep it authentic, if that makes sense? Like, how do you keep it from like I'm making shit to like, because I'll be making the kind of music that people want, or like I don't know, I'll sound the way that other people maybe want me to sound. Like, how do you keep yourself?
Yeah.
Because, and I'm like, obviously, I don't know you too much, but like when I hear your music, I think it sounds really good. And after having this conversation, like I feel like you're talking about things that are really relevant to your life and all that. How do you keep it? How do you keep yourself like in tune with yourself, like during the creative process? Like, if that makes any sense, like,
Hmm.
do you do something to like keep yourself in the zone? Like, I don't know. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, like when I'm writing songs or like, uh,
Just the whole like, have you ever felt like, man, I'm kind of being fake right now? Like, I'm kind of like, have you ever
oh, huh.
felt that and then you kind of transformed out of that? Or like, like, can you tell me a little bit about that, if that makes any sense?
Yeah. I guess when I'm writing music, you know, definitely like I'm very picky about my songwriting, especially like if something that sounds off to me, even like the smallest thing, I'm like, no, this ain't right. Like to me, that's like, oh, this is not me. This is like fake. That's what,
Mm,
in terms of when I'm writing music. As for like maybe like projecting an image, I just try to be humble as possible. Um, it's a lot of these songs that I've written, all the songs on the EP, they're personal to me. So those songs are like me, you know, I feel like I'm very this is a very vulnerable release that I'm about to drop, but like to me this is like I feel like an honest piece of work, and
Yeah.
and I'm trying to keep that um that imagery through when the EP comes out, hopefully through you know through social media, and try and promote the EP when I do that. But yeah, it's really hard, especially in an age, well, social media, and it's so easy to be fake,
Mm-hmm.
and I try. I just had to remind myself I gotta just be me, and hopefully by me being me, people can appreciate that, and I hope I pass that uh, positivity along.
Yeah, dude, and I feel that from you. Like I feel like very like humble energy. I feel like yeah, I feel like good vibes from you. Like
Thank
I
you,
don't know,
and
I
you as
really do
well.
feel it. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. But I get and I feel like I don't really know your history, but I feel like you've probably been like a pretty humble person, probably throughout most of your life. I kind
I
of
hope
get
so.
that. I get that vibe. I do like me, like I'm like coming from this background of like I spent my whole life, majority of my life, like in fear, just because of like my childhood. And I'm not blaming it. Like obviously, like once I got conscious, like, I have I'm like now the way I see my life now is like I'm just fully responsible for my life. Everything
Yes.
that I feel like if I want to feel good, that's my responsibility to feel good. If I feel a
Hmm.
certain way, like that's like if I feel upset, like that's my responsibility. So that's the way I see my life now. But growing up, like my life, I grew up with fear, like so much fear, and so that's like been just insecurities, like, and a lot
Hmm.
of it, dude, was weird because I didn't get diagnosed with this. Technically,
Hmm.
I got diagnosed with depression at one point, like I think it was during 2021, and then I started seeing a therapist, which she helped me a lot. But I think I had a particular type of depression, which I got a book about. It's called perfectly hidden depression, where the
Oh.
way I see it is like I was depressed, but it's called perfectly hidden depression because you always look like you're fine. Like I feel
Hmm.
like most of my life I looked like I was fine. I was performing pretty well athletically. I'm getting the good grades. I'm
Hmm.
like a nice guy, whatever. Which don't get me wrong, like I think I probably was like kind of nice sometimes, but point of the matter is that like I didn't really feel good all the time, but I was kind of like just holding everything in. Like I wasn't in
Hmm.
tune with my emotions because most of my life I just suppressed my emotions because that's what I felt I had to do in order to get by, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was just in certain situations where I would just like become just holding all my emotions. That way I can like, that's what I felt would get me through the hard times. But in that process, I was like very disconnected from my emotions. And then nowadays, like, I'm like, I'm trying my best to just fully function off of my authentic emotions, right? And just be vulnerable like all the time. Like, it's not like, oh, like I'm trying to like every second, like just be in my emotions, like just
Hmm.
be right there present at the core. And yeah, it's just an interesting thing. Like I'm learning so much about myself, and then a lot of time, like I don't even know who the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
Yeah.
like, I feel like now I'm tapped into like a much deeper level of myself, but it's like I'm still learning a lot about myself. Like
Yeah.
even just right now talking to you.
Definitely. I agree. Even like you just said, talking with you, like I'm feeling like I'm getting to know a little bit more about myself. I'm getting to know about you, and it's great. And I feel like that's even the theme that kind of carries over the EP too. It's like my first kind of my first project that I've kind of like first like quote unquote like solo project, But of course, I got the help of my previous bandmates, and it's they're helping me grow through this development of the EP, and I feel like I'm having a sort of a finding myself through this, like sort of a self identity, you know.
Yeah.
And it's been a great process, and I'm just so excited to have it out and get a little vulnerable with everyone.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing, man, that I love about musicians and artists, because like I don't make like I have fucked around because my brother's actually a music artist. Like he
Mhm.
produces beats and he has actually music like on Spotify and stuff, goes by Mamar. So I mean, I'm very blessed to like, have my brother as a musician. And ever since because I live with him, he's literally across the hall. So I kind of mess around like freestyling, like freestyle raps and like singing a little bit. And it's crazy, like, because sometimes I'll be driving and I'll just throw on an instrumental and I'll just like freestyle on it. And it's crazy to me, it's crazy how you can learn so much from just freestyling. When you
Mhm.
really feel the music and you start getting into it, and then you start hearing yourself say these things, you're like, oh shit. Like, at least for me, has been my experience with like, man, it's like you're transforming emotion into like words. And
Yes.
then for me, it's like, oh shit, like that's what I had inside of me. Like,
Uh-huh.
so does that what you got too sometimes, where like you got this emotion,
Yeah.
like you got to put it out into the music, and then you learn something like, oh shit, like what? Like, do you have that?
I feel like now with my songwriting, it's definitely leaning towards that direction. Whereas before, I would just write songs about like, you know, scenarios really, like
Uh-huh.
not, like fictionists. Um, but now I feel like it's more real,
It's becoming
definitely.
more personal with yourself, huh?
Yes, yes.
So before it was more so like you're using your talent, you're using you're using all your faculties, like your voice and yeah, I'm sure you had emotion. But now you're saying you're tapping in like to a much more personal level when you're making your music.
Yes, yes, definitely real. And well, it's ironic with fake tides, writing these songs about fake scenarios, basically, so
uh
kind of kept the theme. But now I feel like it's time to be more. I'm older now, and I mean, we're learning every day, really. But I feel like this this is like the next step is just trying to be a little more real.
and
Definitely.
is this the first music that you make completely on your own? Like, well, obviously I know you're getting help from people, but like the songs, like the voice is all you and stuff.
Yeah, so I write the songs at home, and then I bring it to Edgar, and he helps me write the drum part, and then Sal actually helped me too. He helped me write those bass lines. So that their instruments, that's all them, and their
Okay.
instruments, and then the structure wise, like these songs, like that's all me. Yes.
Damn, dude. What's the difference in the feeling between like when you're on your own? Like obviously you're getting help, but like you're writing your own lyrics and stuff, and I'm sure you're composing all of it. Like what's the difference
Mhm.
between that and then being a part of a band?
Well, with the band, you gotta have everyone's 2 cents on everything. You write something, and then everyone's got to be okay with it, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, and uh, now I have the freedom of just like, okay, like I can write this, and I think it sounds like that's it, and
Uh-huh.
I can just go ahead with that. Whereas before, I would write something, and I thought like, oh, that's the one, and then a, a bandmate would say, like nah, like I'm not vibing with that, or you know, which is cool. Like definitely pros and cons with writing with a band and writing alone.
Mm.
Definitely writing alone is a lot. I feel like it's a lot harder because it's just
Uh,
you.
yeah,
You don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
any collaborators to help you out, but. But I think that's why I feel like these songs are more personal because they were written, um, just by me. So I felt like I took that opportunity to write some personal songs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. So it seems like whether you do it by yourself or you do it with other people, I feel like you're gonna grow from the situation either way.
yeah, and I still collaborate obviously with Edgar on Egg Records with Egg Factory. I help him
Mhm.
write a lot of the songs. Um, yeah, it's just great to have that balance. Like not only am I writing my own music, but I'm also helping someone else write their music too, and it's great. I love it all. I love music.
What it
uh,
just like moving forward, if you had to like take a guess, like do you see yourself like long term in your career? Like, do you see yourself making more music like where it's just you, or do you see yourself making more music with other people?
Honestly, it could go either way. I feel like I won't ever stop writing music. Um, and whether it be by myself or with someone else, I feel like I'm always gonna have a look for an outlet. I'm gonna look for
Mhm.
that outlet. um yeah, music just gets through with me. That's how I get by, and that's how I'm able to project my creative process or my creativity, you know.
Do you feel like
And
when you maybe don't like produce for a while, like do you see like your health is affected by it?
actually, yeah, you know what? Yes, like even right now, like I know I have the EP coming out, and um, I'm kind of waiting on that. I'm doing things to uh get the EP ready, or at least I'm getting help from Edgar and Iris. She's actually gonna do the cover for the EP. Um, and then I'm kind of just like in this like waiting period, like kind of just like patiently waiting for the EP to come out. And I'm kind of taking like a little break right now from writing, but um, honestly, like uh, yeah, I shouldn't be taking this break. I should just be writing more because
Hmm.
uh, like I feel like the grind shouldn't stop. Like why stop now?
Mm.
Like I mean I too is just because I've been busy, sure, but I have seen like even just this little like break period right now. I'm just like I'm kind of feeling like a little down, and I think it's because I'm not writing enough music.
Mm. That's
Yeah,
so interesting, man. Like, cause I feel that too with myself, cause I didn't, I kind of didn't do the podcast for a little while,
yeah,
and it's just like, dude, no joke. I did a few podcasts where like I recorded and everything. I just never released it, but it was just like I
really,
just needed to get these. Yeah, I just needed to like extract these things out of myself. And then
hmm,
also, I think another way I can relate to you is like with me and running, because I run and stuff. Like I feel like for sure, like if I don't run, like eventually it starts like catching up to me. It's
yeah,
like a thing. And it's crazy. Like you definitely have to exert yourself in certain ways to actually just maintain your health. And I guess everybody just has a different way of expressing that, I guess,
hmm,
you know.
yeah,
Um, I would say let's start wrapping it up.
okay,
And I already told you how I usually end these podcasts. And maybe you had a little bit of time to kind of process, because I know I told you the question. Remember the question I told you before we started recording?
right,
Yeah, so let's move on to that.
okay,
All right. So, Luis, this is a question, and you already know this, but I'm just gonna say it for the audience and for everybody listening. This is a question that we have traditionally asked on the podcast, and this is a question that we usually end it on. Am I always gonna do this? I'm not too sure, but I don't know. I kind of like it because it gives like a little reference, like, oh, every guest answered the same question, so that's like what does everybody say? So, Luis, if you had the entire human race in front of you right now, uh, what would be your message to the human race? Assuming everybody could understand. I know everyone speaks different languages and stuff, but like,
hmm.
you had the whole human race in front of you right now. What would be your message?
As this might have already been said, it might be generic, but I feel I can get a message across to everyone. It's just to spread love and peace and love, really, because widespread hate is just that it just correlates with negativity. Love is only positive, nothing but positive things, and with peace and love, we can stop all these meaningless wars, all these all the bogus stuff that happens in our world. It's a crazy world we live in, and I feel like with everyone just spreading love, I feel like we can that will eventually bring peace into the world.
And what,
Yeah.
just to elaborate a little bit, like just to ask a little bit more on that, like what exactly for you is love?
It could be shown any form, really. Like it could be a platonic love. It could be a, you know, uh, with a partner. Just I feel like it should be more normalized to tell your friends, like your close homies, like, hey, you know what? I love you, dude. Or just you gotta say it sometimes. And it's crazy how just those three simple words can like really change someone's mood, and you feel that too. You feel that connection with someone, and to say that is really powerful. I feel like those three words are really powerful to say.
That's
And when you
so
feel that,
true, man.
yeah,
The crazy thing about it is like I
uh,
feel like it takes practice, you know?
yes,
Like it takes practice. Like even me right now, like I know I'm like recording and like we're gonna publish this and I'm here with you, and I'm just like, Christian, like you can just fully be here, like, like don't worry about nothing, like, and so I'm just like trying to practice what you're saying, just love, but I feel
yeah,
like, it's a challenging thing because like when you got things inside of you, emotions and traumas and things, all those things make us not be able to show the love that we want to show. And if we do,
yeah,
when we do try to show the love, it's like it could be in a really nasty way.
yes, yes,
So as someone said, I follow someone called Jay Shetty, and he said, oftentimes the people who need love the most ask for it like in the most, nastiest way, or in the most like, aggressive way,
mm-hmm,
like,
mm-hmm,
so it's just like everyone just like needs love, and I think obviously it's important to like manage yourself and stuff, but like everyone started with like a different set of cards, at the start of life, and everyone's had a different
yeah,
experience and everyone's at a different point in their life. And just like you're saying, like a simple like I love you, or like you said, there's not really any one way to love. Like even just like looking at someone and just nodding your head at them while you're walking by, like the most simplest thing,
yeah. That's so true. Just even acknowledging like a
just
stranger, like
acknowledging
you
people.
you don't know what they're going through. They're just a stranger. Even just acknowledging them and saying, "Hi, hey, good morning." That could really make their day, and
Yeah.
you don't even know. Yeah.
And it's crazy though, because like at least like for me, like growing up here, like in California, like, it's like, I mean, there's like so many like different like, different neighborhoods have different vibes, and there's a lot of like all of that. But I feel like in general, like in America, like we're so like consumed by material world, and like
Hmm.
I don't know, it's about the success and moving to the next step. So and then parents have expectations on their kids. So then it creates this
Yeah.
whole atmosphere of like fear, because it's like, what if I don't live up to the expectation that so and so has, and you care about that
Right.
person's opinion because it's your parent, and it's just like
Absolutely.
it's crazy because then like yeah, like you want to love, but then it turns into like attachment, or it turns into like, then it becomes like a relationship where you just need validation, or like,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, like you want to love, but the thing is, like, it's like, how do you love, like it's kind of almost like a scientific thing of like how, and I don't mean scientific like chemicals and shit, but like, because I'm listening to this podcast called On Purpose by Jay Shetty, and he has
Hmm.
a lot of podcasts talking about like relationships and how to communicate and how to do this and that. And like, dude, like communication is like, there's an art form to it. Like it's
Oh,
not
communication
easy.
is key. It is not easy, but if
It's
you can get
not
communication
easy.
down, that is key.
And you're in a
Definitely.
relationship, so like I'm sure
Right.
and you've had your struggles and stuff, but like
Yeah. Yeah.
communication is key. But it's like when you grew up with parents or being surrounded by people that had terrible communication, then like you don't
Hmm.
even know what good communication looks like,
Yeah.
So then you just grow up pretty much imitating your environment of like how to communicate, and
Yeah.
it's just like I'm learning a lot from that podcast On Purpose. Like, yeah, like it, like there's a certain way to like communicate, like
Hmm.
don't gaslight somebody. Someone tells you they don't feel good, like, oh, you're just being extra, you're just being sensitive. Like, no, like what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, oh, why do you feel like that? Like, but like a lot of us, we've been, including myself, like we've been conditioned to like, I don't like the emotion is like a scary thing, or like, I don't know. It's just like, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I definitely know what you're saying, and it's loud and clear, man. Wow. Communication is everything, and that's like the step into figuring out what's going on with this person. You're just checking in, and from there you hope to learn about them, and from there you can hopefully help them grow, and from there they can understand their meaning of love. Hopefully um a, a I want to say like a productive version of love, like something that's not false, something
Mm-hmm.
that's there and it's real, and that someone else can reciprocate that as well.
What would you say through your experience with your relationship, like for you, what has been one of the things that you feel has helped you in the communication process, which ultimately, like like what's something that you've learned in your process of like with your partner, let's say, like what's something that you've learned about like loving somebody and like communicating that love in such a way where like you get what I'm saying? Like what's something that you've learned from your relationship? Like what's something that's important when it comes to like to having like clear communication? What's something that's important and like genuinely trying to love somebody? If that makes any sense.
Yes, I think it's just having a good understanding of that person and just knowing where they're from. Like kind of you were saying earlier, just we all come from different backgrounds, and just learning about each other's experience. I feel like it's very vital into learning on how they feel, because we all feel differently. We're all humans. We don't feel the same way as everyone else. Especially at different points of our time, different points in time. Um, one person can be in a good mood, the other one's in a bad mood. Like, and just understanding um, where they're coming from, um, and yeah, where understand where they're coming from, and just like getting to know that person. It feels like it's very vital just to communicate with each other, and in turn you can understand each other's versions of love, and hopefully um, it's being reciprocated the same way.
Dude, that's so crazy. Like, because you say like you get to know the person's background. And I think that's true. And I think the hard part about some of that is that, a lot of times we haven't even opened, like, and I'm saying, speaking from my own experience, like, sometimes I know for me, like, I can't even love the way I want to love because I haven't even gone like deep enough to process all the things like within myself, if that makes any sense. So like,
Mm-hmm.
like, I feel like it's hard to possibly open up to somebody about something if you haven't even really like embraced it within yourself, if that makes sense. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, though, I also feel that sometimes the people that I felt the most comfortable with, like I've actually, I don't know, man, it's just weird. But yeah, not to go away too much from what I'm saying, I do feel like it's important to kind of reflect on it yourself, because otherwise you might not
Yes.
even be conscious of these things. So how is it that you could even relate it to somebody else? If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely got to be aware of what's going on and fully grasp the whole situation, and like are these emotions really coming from from a welcoming place, or is it genuine, or you
Mm-hmm.
just have to, and you really got to find it in yourself to truly believe in your feelings too.
It's
You get,
true, yeah.
yeah,
You almost
you,
don't want to validate your own experience, right?
yeah,
Like I feel
yeah,
like for me, I've
exactly.
definitely like I felt a certain way, like, oh, you're a bad guy, don't think like that. But it's like you have to just let yourself feel everything, even if it's like quote unquote like bad feelings and stuff,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, yeah. You can take those bad feelings, but you can form it into something more positive, progressive. And
Yeah.
apply that, and because just being human is just, it comes from experiences, and I feel like with those experiences helps you grow, and helps you, you know, helps you love. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. All right, dude. Well, we're gonna wrap it up there, but I just want to say, Luis, thank you so much. I'm not even sure how long we've been talking, but
Yeah. Time flies.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Thank you, man, so much. And just
Yes.
honestly, this
Thank.
has been like a therapeutic thing for me. I feel very comfortable with you, 'cause that's the kind of like heart.
Likewise.
I feel comfortable with you, dude. No joke. Like I felt comfortable and just very easy to like kind of open up. And so thank you again for being on the podcast. I really, really hope that this could have helped you and Edgar and promoting your music and hopefully just giving your audience like, I don't know, maybe a little bit of perspective that they didn't even know about you and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Definitely.
So, nah, man, for real, thank you so much. Like I said, I support you with whatever you got going on. You could just DM me,
Yeah.
and hopefully I'll
Awesome.
meet you in person. Honestly,
Yeah, I would love to meet you in person, Christian. You seem like a great guy. I would love to hang out with you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Let's cut the recording and then I'll officially say bye if that makes sense.
Sounds good to me.